Welcome, bienvenue, welcome to the Karen Bashford Intuitive Therapy Show, now completely shanghaied by the product that is Sloth or Beaver, a therapeutic toolkit designed, built, and conceived by Karen Bashford. And I'm afraid you'll be hearing a lot more of this over the next few weeks and months. Let me first of all explain one thing. What it is a board, some cards, and you. And what I mean by you is you plural. People sat around a board with cards that help them ask of themselves and each other questions that sometimes people find difficult to ask each other. And they're not particularly hard questions, but they open up avenues. Let me show you first of all what it looks like. So this is the Sloth or Beaver board. Slothourbeaver.com is the website. We'll be talking about that a bit more in a second. The cards on which the questions are based are these. And I'm going to say before I go any further, Karen, I think this is an amazing product. I'm not shy about saying it. I've told all my friends about it. I think it's exceptionally well priced. It's, if I may mention, £75 for the board with one pack of cards. You see, you've got all different other packs of cards here. There's money management, relationship questions, there's intimate relationships, there's business questions, and so on. So, first of all, let's get back to the basis of this. Why do we need this toolkit, Karen Bashford? And welcome, by the way.
Thank you. Why do we need it? Well, based on the fact that I went through a nervous breakdown, one of the things I realized was I very rarely asked questions of myself. It was almost as if I just accepted everything in my life and didn't question. And as I was going through the breakdown, it was like, well, why was I doing that? Or why did that happen? Or could I have done that differently? No. That kind of situation. And basically, the board is very much a life map of where we start, how we can journey through life. But we have to remember that life is never linear or linear. Get the word right. It's
I knew what you meant.
Spirals. It's spirals. We do not ever go in a straight line. So even though the board indicates a pathway that weaves its way through basically a valley, it's never like that. So we can get halfway through the board and then discover that actually we're back to square one because we've discovered another layer of something that suddenly appeared because we've been working on something else.
And if we're honest with ourselves, that is kind of how life works normally. You shouldn't think this is anything more than a reflection of how life normally is. And even though it's presented as a pathway, you don't necessarily have to stick to that path rigidly. It's just a guide. Yes.
Basically, we go through life, we hit obstacles, so we take a slightly different path, but we usually come back onto the one we were originally aiming to be on, because that's what life is about. We just get distracted, or we hit obstacles, or actually, at the end of the day, we might think, oh, that's a nice shiny object I want to go for, only to discover it's the wrong shiny object. So we then either backtrack or we find a overgrown path to get back onto the one we're supposed to be on.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of us could be accused of being distracted of to go to shiny baubles, only to find that that wasn't quite where we should have been. And we too tend, over time, to find our way back to a certain direction. I mean, if we can go through, this is the board, and that's the path, and you can see that as you go through it, you're going through mountains, you're going through valleys, past water, and all the rest of it. And there are various elements there, are there not? Now, the cards themselves, the questions they're asking, why are you asking these questions? Are they to guide critical thinking? And also, what is the relevance of the different colors of the bags?
Right. Well, the relevance of the different colours of the bags are very much connected to the part of the body that they relate to, the questions relate to. So if you look at relationships, it's in purple. Purple is very much the colour of royalty. And if you consider yourself as a royal person, you are your own royal person. And everything that happens comes from you. Because your reactions, your thoughts, your beliefs are what create your life.
Right.
Yes, we have internal influences, but we still relate to how we respond through our own thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors. So it's self-awareness of how we relate to ourselves that changes our relationships with others.
Okay.
Right. You're the role person in your own life, basically.
And the other colours are each different
the
aspect.
Blue, yeah, the blue is about the money, and that is about your throat. If you cannot talk about money, you cannot have money. Simple as that. Because you can't ask for a pay rise, you can't ask for a salary, you can't ask for the business. So you have to be able.
And a lot of people struggle to talk about money, don't they? They really do, especially to partners or other people. You know, oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yes.
No, but the thing is, we have to realize that we have to talk about money because we want to know what the other person is thinking about money. Because if we think one thing and they think another, is there going to be a clash?
Right. Right.
So money is very much about the throat chakra, which is the blue color, hence why we need to be able to speak.
Okay.
The green color is very much about your health. It's also, your health starts within your heart. When you love yourself, your health is a lot better than if you don't. Well, so green is your heart. It's the chakra color. Normally, most people would associate red with your heart, but if you look at the energy centers of your body, green is your heart color.
All right. And the others?
What Pink is your intimate relationship, which is love.
Yes.
I would not use red, simply because red is your foundations. It's your base chakra. That is where everything starts, basically. If your foundations aren't solid, you're not going to have a solid, happy life.
I gave my wife Heather a rose quartz heart for her birthday, and that seems to be the color associated with it. Is that right?
Yeah, for love. Yeah, definitely for the heart love. Yeah. And then you've got gold, which is your business. And that's very much associated with the ability to build your pot, your wealth pot. So, yeah, or your career even. But in this case, it's business. I haven't got one for career. Potentially, it's something I could create later on. But at the moment, I haven't got career.
Could you give me an example of a question, just so that people get a flavor of one?
Okay, well, I pulled the health cards out. I felt the need to talk about health today.
I'm duty bound to answer honestly. Go on, hit me with your best shot.
Okay, let's ask the very first question when you open the new deck. How are you maintaining your health right now? Are you aware that the way you care about your health today will directly reflect in the quality of your health as you get older? Every small choice matters. What you eat, how you move, how you rest. What is one simple yet powerful thing you can do today to take better care of your physical, mental, or emotional health?
Oof. Okay. I'm going to do an obvious and a silly one. The one thing that Heather moans at me about is I just don't drink enough water.
I thought you were going to say that.
Well,
I never see you drinking. I never ever see you drinking.
Once in a while. And I don't even have on my desk now. I should have like a litre bottle of water there. That's what Heather says I should, exactly. And it's silly things like that that can really improve your skin and your ability to think clearly. A lot of it is to do with hydration. So That's what I think you're going to put down. Would that be a sensible answer to that question?
Very sensible, because if you go through the cards later, you get your body is 70% water, so it needs hydration.
We
If you fail to maintain,
water animals. Yeah.
If we fail to maintain hydration, your brain cannot focus, and every cell, tissue, and organ suffers.
Yeah.
Staying hydrated is vital for your body to deal with toxins and function without harm. How much water or herbal teas do you drink compared to coffee, black tea, fizzy drinks, alcohol, or juice? Do you know the warning signs of dehydration? It's more than being thirsty.
Yeah, I when I'm very dehydrated, I come to a crashing halt. I just can't think straight, and but in thinking about that, actually, I don't drink juice at all because it's just pure sugar, so I try and avoid it. I do drink 4 to 5 teas a day.
White tea, black tea?
Black tea, mostly, with semis, as we call it in our household, semi-skilled milk in it.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I drink a mint tea at supper time because it really helps with my digestion, no end. And I probably drink a can of Pepsi Max during the day. But and I drink.
So the one thing you're not drinking is water. You're drinking everything, but the one thing you really, really need is water.
I'm getting there. I do drink a bunch of water since we got our zero filter jug. So I drink probably about half a litre of that, but I need to up it. And I tend to only do that at meal times. So I drink water with my meal.
Oh, no. You shouldn't drink water with your meals. You're actually impacting your digestive system for a start off, because you're actually diluting your acids. And if you're going to drink water, drink it before you have your food, because then you fill yourself up with water rather than needing to eat so much.
I quite like the water though. All right, but all right. I will be drinking. My commitment is I will be drinking more water. I'm going to look initially for a litre, and then I'm going to go for a bit more, I think, if I can. But it's getting a habit, isn't it? So I'm going to have a glass and a bottle and a carafe on my desk and just do that. And you will see me drinking more water online. This is my commitment. All right, good. Let's pick one more. Come on.
Okay.
I'm on a roll here. I'm on a roll.
Okay. All right, let's have a look.
Hang on. In answering that question, when you start Sloth or Beaver, what would I do then?
Right. Well, basically, the questions, if you look at the cards, obviously you haven't got a card set in front of you, but you see a number down here. You've got a number. That number is the minutes you need to be speaking on that topic. So if you're talking about hydration, you could be talking about A, the awareness you have of what you drink, and B, how you can what motivation can you give yourself to improve your drinking of water and things like that. Also the symptoms potentially that could appear. So you're opening a topic up of discussion. If you're doing this on your own, obviously you'd write this down in a journal, so you've got a record of what you commit to for yourself. If you're in a group of up to 6 people, you speak for that time, in this case 5 minutes, then you open it up so that anyone within your group can talk about what's relevant for them, what they gained from listening to what you're sharing, what they gained from each other's shares, so that you're actually opening up a topic. And the thing about communication is the more you communicate, the more you learn, but the more you actually realize there are options that perhaps you haven't been aware of that you can take action on.
All right. So what I'm going to do right now is if you see that I've changed the logo in the corner, You can still see in the center the Sloth OR Beaver logo. That QR code, if you scan it, will take you straight through to the Sloth OR Beaver site. It's exceptionally easy to buy your first Sloth OR Beaver pack. It's very reasonably priced at £75. You're getting an awful lot in that. Each of the questions, this has been, good Lord, how much time have you spent building this together? It's been about a year, isn't it?
No, I originally started in January of this year, and it actually went live in August.
That's actually amazing. I have to say, Karen and I have been working together for quite a while, and I've witnessed the birth, the gestation period, and its build into where it is now. I'm very pleased to say that we have an ongoing process of working through the cards with my dear wife, and so far we've found it amazing. It's open up conversations that perhaps we have shied away from, not because they're that difficult, it's just we never have the time or the inclination or whatever, and because it's part of this, it somehow made it easier to talk about. So from the point of view of furthering better communication just within the family, it's a brilliant thing. And seeing as we've got Christmas coming up, yes, I know, I'm sorry, I did say the C word. We've got Christmas coming up. I know. But before you come for me, all right? Yes, I know it's not even September, but it is coming, and you're looking for the unique gift that no household normally has, the thing that could potentially create better communication, more interest, and critical thinking inside your house. If you've got friends that like to talk about stuff but avoid talking to each other, or if you've got a family that are a family of deep thinkers and probably talk about everything else about them except themselves, then perhaps this might be the thing for them. And I would say it's not judgmental. It's not about judgment. It's about opening up yourself to thinking outside of the box that you've normally put yourself in. Is that fair, Karen?
Yes, and the whole aim of the actual toolkit is to create better communication, but also for you to understand why you're behaving as you are, because you'll understand yourself better. And in doing so, you can make different choices. And if we make different choices, we then create different scenarios for ourselves.
Good. I've just checked. The QR code doesn't in fact work properly.
Hey, it does help.
I've had this before. You put out a QR code and somebody scans it and it goes somewhere completely different or nowhere at all. So no, absolutely. That actually will take you where you need to go. I thoroughly recommend you going to have a look. Before we close up for today, Karen, have you got any last words?
Be willing to be curious, because this is all about being curious as to who you are, who the people around you really are, because we don't share ourselves honestly. We hide behind masks. So just be curious.
Do you know what? Curiosity is the thing that should drive so much. It's the very essence of being able to look beyond where you happen to be, looking slightly further, and it enables you to grow. It's only through curiosity that leads to growth. I think I'm going to terribly misquote someone now, so please don't come for me in the comments. But I think it was George Bernard Shaw that once said, the mild-mannered man or woman, accepts what happens to him or her and just gets on with life. The upstart is the one that pushes back and wants to ask questions and demands answers. Therefore, all progress is made by the pushy person, not by the one who accepts and just accepts everything as is. So let's not be people who accept everything as is. Let's ask questions. Let's try and get answers, not just about ourselves, but about the people around us. And that will enable us to live, I think, happier and more fulfilled lives. On that note, thank you so much, Karen. And to all of you watching, I suddenly saw a whole bunch of people pop in. Thank you very much for watching our show. There's going to be more about this next week. So all I can ask you is Sloth or Beaver? Slothourbeaver.com. As you can see down the bottom, please go and visit it, or use the QR code and go and get your kit right now. It's an amazing addition to all the things you've got in your house that provide diversion, but with a purpose. Until next week, bye-bye now.
Bye.